There are a lot of terrible baseball games, and today I'm testing every single one, and I'll be grading the games on a scale of 1 to 5. The first thing I have to mention is I've never played any of these games before, and the ones I chose for this video are based on online ratings. First up on the loser board is a classic for all the wrong reasons, and that is RBI Baseball 14. If you've played RBI Baseball, you know that any of these titles could have worked for this video, but this version is as bare bones as you can get with an exhibition and a season mode. We have the option to do a full season or a postseason. That sounds a little more interesting. However, now I need to pick a team, which is pretty difficult since there are no rosters to view, which is already minus points for this game. I honestly can't remember last week, let alone the 2014 season, so we're gonna go random and hope for the best. The team we're playing with are the Giants, and first off, these graphics are terrible and I don't know how to throw. This might be the laziest animation I've ever seen, as we can move our pitcher on the mound, but it didn't do anything as we're already down by 1 run. We can also only throw 1 pitch, which definitely is hurting us so far as we give up another run. I'm having a hard time believing this was made in 2014 as it looks like Wii Sports, and I don't remember how to throw. Can I cover the bag myself? Thankfully I do. As far as presentation goes, this is as bad as it gets, and I can also move around in the batter's box. There's no way this is real, but we get on base immediately. Additionally, there is no super sim, and if there's a way to throw a pitch other than a fastball, I haven't figured it out yet, as this game is as basic as it gets. I can literally control these pitches while they're moving, which is never a good sign, as I'm aiming for the edge of the plate and they swing pretty much every time. I'm only 4 innings in, but there's no good reason to play RBI Baseball, as it's also extremely awkward and only has 1 difficulty. There's not 1 positive thing to say about this game, and on top of that, that player's broken, so I think our work here is done as we at least score a run, but RBI Baseball still gets a 1 out of 5 stars. Time for the next game, and straight out of the gate, I do want to say I love the backyard sports games, but there's no denying that Backyard Baseball 2007 is one of the worst ones ever. IGN gave it a painful 2 out of 10 rating, and I was not impressed when I played every Backyard Baseball on this channel. However, one of the good things about this game is there are a lot of locations, including a knockoff In-N-Out Burger, and that's probably where we're gonna go, because I have no idea how to unlock Area 51. After that, it's pretty much the standard Backyard Baseball experience where you select a custom team, and after playing RBI Baseball, it's such a relief to see some customization. The biggest thing to note about this game is the graphics are terrible, but I just went deep on my first at bat. That gets my confidence back after being humbled by RBI Baseball, as there we go again. And now we have a special power-up. I'm doing the popcorn bunt, and at least that's pretty cool, as we're able to get to first base, and they are spazzing out. What is going on? I'm also pretty sure I selected the burger place, so I don't know why we're in this abandoned shipyard, but we're still hitting nukes, this time with Pablo Sanchez. That gives us another power-up. Here is the slime ball, and I'm curious to see what this does. It stays on the ground, and no one wants to touch it. Obviously, RBI Baseball was way too hard, but it seems like this is a bit easy, and I don't know how to explain it, but something about the swing time just feels a little weird to me as we lay down a bunt, and they're not even trying to go for it. We're gonna take an easy base, and just for fun, let's go home. They are frozen, not even throwing the ball. This AI is so dumb. Even for a kid's game, Backyard Baseball 2007 just feels lazy, as all of the players and maps could be a lot better. The big appeal for the backyard sports games is they're licensed by real-life teams and have legend players, but this game seems pretty lazy everywhere else. I got bored of season mode in about 20 minutes, and the only other thing to do in this game are the Fielder's Challenge and the Home Run Derby, so it feels like this was the game where Backyard Baseball kind of fell off a cliff, so I'm giving it a 2.5 out of 5. Moving on. Next up on this list is Bitball, and this game was recently released, so I'm excited to play it. I haven't seen too much about this game, but it was recommended by its own creator for this video, so I'm excited to play it. And right off the bat, I'm seeing Portland as a team option. Does that mean I can play as the Pickles? If I can, this game immediately becomes a 5 out of 5, as we open up our roster, and those are definitely pickle colors. I'm a huge franchise guy, and I'm already seeing elements I'd like to add to MLB The Show, like this team info box, which gives you ratings for pretty much every aspect of your organization. And there's also a front office mode where I can raise the prices of my concessions and upgrade facilities. That is amazing. There's a surprising amount of depth here for a mobile baseball game, as I can sign a free agent. How about catcher Dong Woo Han? He looks pretty good, and I can immediately select a player to cut, which is very helpful, as we are signing a $25 million check to bring him in. It looks like there's also a ridiculous number of stadiums that all honestly look better than Backyard Baseball 2007, including the Hot Dog dome, so I'm very impressed, and that pickle in center field is definitely the deal breaker. This game's amazing. I'm amazed that this game was made by one person, but I'm curious if there's gameplay. It looks like there is. For a second, I thought it would be sim only, but there is a home run. This is everything I could want in a retro game, as there's another big hit. I think it's a double, and just kidding, I'll go back to first. Backyard Baseball has major league backing and still can't make something as good as this, as the controls are very good for a mobile game and the pacing is amazing. Especially compared to the other games, that is the best part of it so far, as there are no cutscenes and you can choose when your next pitch comes, as we are lighting up Anaheim right now with another double. This game feels out of pace for a video where I play the worst baseball games, as I could genuinely play this for hours, and there is another home run, 469 feet. I kinda wish there was an option to simulate a game once you're in it, as I'm not seeing anything, so I'm just assuming that's a tough thing to program into a mobile baseball game, as we are ending off with what could be an inside the park home run. They're not able to get the ball for some reason, and we are going to go all the way home. We just blasted through a game in about 15 minutes, and just to note, while the game is free to play, some features such as simulating a full game is available with a premium subscription. In my opinion, that is very worth it and does not affect my rating. Bitball gets a 4.5 out of 5. Do you ever have one of those days where nothing goes according to plan? Whether it's forgetting to shop for groceries, take meat out of the freezer, or you get hit with a huge cold and need meds? Today's sponsor, DoorDash, has consistently been a lifesaver for me. Thanks to DoorDash, I can get pretty much anything I need delivered straight to my door during a busy work week. Even today, my wife and I ordered food in, and the convenience of delivery saved us a ton of time. However, DoorDash is not just a food delivery app, as they partner with a wide range of businesses, including grocery stores, offering delivery for fresh produce, flowers, medicine, and more. About a month ago, I got a terrible sinus infection and ran out of cold meds. Instead of dragging myself to the store though, I just popped open the DoorDash app and got everything I needed delivered in half an hour. DoorDash is your door to more, and you can download the DoorDash app now to get almost anything delivered and use code SCRAWNY50 to get 15% off up to $10 on your first order of $15 or more. This is a limited time offer, so don't miss out. Scan this QR code or click the link below to get started. Now it's time for the next game. This is MLB Slugfest 2006, which I've heard is absolutely cursed. Like with all these games, I've never actually played Slugfest, but I've heard it's basically free-for-all baseball with no rules. It looks like there are several game modes, including a typical season mode, along with challenge mode, where you run the gauntlet of all 30 MLB teams. That's pretty cool, and then there's playoff mode, along with the home run derby, and the option to create a team or player is always going to give a game some extra points. There's also this really cool map for stadium selection, allowing you to play all over the country, including Atlantis, which we are definitely gonna do, although we have to unlock it. Honestly, from a presentation standpoint, this really is not bad so far, and it also seems like there's a lot of unlockable content, which I'm definitely a fan of in games like this. We are jumping into a game, but even before we do, I can tell this is gonna be chaos, because there are so many options like aggression, turbo, fire, and special pitches. All we can do is jump into this and see what happens, as we have the Red Sox and the Yankees. It looks like I have the option to bean their batter, which could start some violence, so let's just throw a strike since the bases are loaded. That is obliterated into right center field, and even on rookie, this game is a little difficult so far. Maybe the secret of this game is to actually hit their batter, as I'm throwing straight at him, and I take out his hip flexor. Finally, we're up to bat, and I am swinging for the fences all day long. So far, batting doesn't seem difficult, but I don't know why their pitches have fire on them and are moving like that. It looks like I need to hit L1 to throw a special pitch, so I'll keep that in mind. As we still have a man on first, and A-Rod gets nailed in the shin. This game is crazy. We've got a Wiener Nuts banner in the top right. That's really something. And between that and the violence, I have no idea how this is rated E for everyone, as we finally hit a special pitch. It seems we're finally starting to figure this out, as there's another double to make this 5-3, but I'm still not seeing any fighting, which is why I wanted to play this game. Maybe if I start spamming random buttons, it'll happen, as there we go. Can I force him to third base? We do, and he's gonna be out. That is hilarious. I think the strategy is to just keep punching their guys as they're on fire, and I'll say, while this game definitely has its quirks, it gets old pretty fast, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Now we are moving on to 2K Sports MLB Front Office Manager, which as a franchise fan, I've never heard of. However, based on the reviews, maybe that's for the best, because this game looks really bad. Right now, I'm seeing the option for a career or a fantasy mode with no description of either, so I have no idea what I'm getting into. But so far, the premise of this game is just a stripped down version of franchise mode that really is not very impressive. I will say there's some some features I like, such as the ability to see players from 7 leagues, along with a Japan bidding system, which I want to see added to MLB The Show. However, the rosters lack depth and organization, as I can't even sort by overall rating, and I'm not even sure if there is one, as you have to go to a separate menu to find it. Then on top of that, every stat has a potential rating, which can get very overwhelming for several different players. Apparently, I'm supposed to offer arbitration to my players, but I have no idea where to do that. And don't even get me started on the free agent system, because you can offer contracts, but there's no organized way to see who signs to your team, and if you get outbid, there is no way to counter that offer. There's also no way to view your top prospects for some reason, which doesn't really make any sense, as the only way to figure out if a prospect is actually good is going one by one through your minor league system until you find somebody. As for the trade system, there's pretty much no organization to it, and no way to tell if an opposing GM actually likes the trade, so I'm kind of just throwing out offers and waiting. And after clicking on every single menu in the game, I still can't figure out how to offer new contracts. Finally, I figured it out in the payroll tab, which I guess sort of makes sense, but you have to do this manually for every single player, and when you do offer a contract, it sends you right back to the top, which is so frustrating. If this was an indie game on the PS2, I would have a bit more sympathy, but this abomination was made on a 2K Sports budget, so I really don't know what to say. 1 out of 5. It can't get much worse than that, but now we're playing All-Star Baseball 2002. I know it was over 20 years ago, but looking at the early presentation on this one, I am not inspired, and it looks like there's not much to do in this game, so we're starting out in the Home Run Derby just to get a feel of the gameplay. Alright, here we go. These graphics don't look nearly as bad as RBI Baseball, but all the colors are extremely dark and kinda depressing. We're in the Home Run Derby, but not hitting any home runs, as I'm still trying to get the timing down, and there's a dinger. Right now, my issue with the game is this PCI moves so slow, and on top of that, it's kinda just difficult to control. Here is Sammy Sosa, who has 100 power, and of course we hit a nuke, so the gameplay is not as painful as RBI Baseball, but certainly not good. I'm sure this game wasn't bad at the time, but the mechanics have definitely aged like milk. But now that we know how the game plays, we're jumping into a season mode to see if that is any better. For this, I am of course using the Mariners, and it seems we can change how many games are in a year, which I think is really cool. Even though these games are really bad, it's funny to see that there are features that MLB The Show could add, but after 30 seconds in this season mode, I'm already disappointed, as we can't actually see any player ratings, but instead we have a lineup card that is a direct ripoff of Backyard Baseball. However, in the trading system, players are assigned a letter grade, but you cannot make a trade with an uneven number of players. I shouldn't be able to trade for Randy Johnson, but that deal goes through, so it seems that All-Star Baseball 2002 didn't have the greatest trade logic in the world. Then, once you complete a season, there's no way to move on to another one, and on top of that, this is incredibly slow, as one pitch took me about 10 seconds to throw. I might just be bad, but this cursor and really the entire game is so slow, as one inning took me about 15 minutes to complete. I'm sure this game was fun at the time, but now there's really nothing interesting or different about it, so I'm giving it a 2 out of 5. Next up, we have Backyard Baseball 2010, which is our second installment of the franchise, and I promise it's different than 2007. All this is going to show us is how big of sellouts the Backyard Baseball creators are, as every positive about 2007 is gone in this game, but at least you can play in a lava dome. Keep in mind, this is 2010, and the graphics still have not been fixed, as I think they might be even worse. And this loading screen looks like it was made in Photoshop in about 5 seconds. The graphic laziness continues, as this scoreboard and pitch selection screen might be the ugliest yet, and after the success of the first 3 games, it's kinda sad to see that the devs simply stopped trying, as this is not on easy difficulty, but I just hit a monster nuke. I know it's a kid's game, but the pitches are literally coming 5 miles an hour, and Keisha Phillips just went over 550 feet. This makes the 2007 version look like an absolute masterpiece, as this game is a copy and paste of that one, but with way worse graphics. All the legends and features are completely the same, although they did add an all-star game, which is at least something different, but it's actually just a lazy way to show off the same legends as always. I am giving Backyard Baseball 2010 a 1.5 out of 5. Next up, we have a game I have never heard of before. This is Home Run King. One thing I'm noticing about all these games is they have mostly the same features, but Home Run King is very similar to All-Star Baseball, where they got the rights to all of the players in the league along with the teams, but don't have any ratings. On paper, it looks like the season mode is even worse than All-Star Baseball, which I didn't think was possible, as it seems there is no way to view your roster or trade for players once you're in a season. Now entering a game though, these player models look looked like robots, but I guess that's okay for 2002. The pitching system is a bit weird as it's extremely slow and you're not allowed to change the direction of the pitch, but at least compared to All-Star Baseball, the graphics are brighter and the hitting system is a lot easier as there's a rocket to right that's caught. As far as gameplay goes, I'd rather play this than All-Star Baseball, but the pacing issues are pretty bad, as it took me 30 minutes to get through 2 innings of that game, which is just not very fun. And considering it's the early 2000s, we've got a lot of steroids in the lineup. If you're looking for an early 2000s baseball game, this is better than All-Star Baseball, but not by much. But the brighter graphics and less frustrating hitting system does give it the edge. I want to hit one more nuke with Barry before giving my review. That's not gonna be it, as we're trying to wrap this up on our last chance, sending this into right field, and it is over. I was hoping to see more from Home Run King, but it seems to just be another mediocre early 2000s baseball game, so I'm giving it a 2.2 out of 5, and this makes me so much more thankful for MLB The Show. Thank you for watching a bit of a different video for me. If you did enjoy, please drop a like, and as always, click right here to see more of my content.